Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're in the new Ferrari GT3 car for week 2 of the Ferrari Challenge series on iRacing. I really love this track and this car feels amazing here. Before we get into the video, I'd like to ask you all to subscribe to my channel as we're very close to 1000 subscribers. First I'll show the fast lap and then I'll break it down step by step. Let's get into it. So for turn 1 I brake just after the 100 meter board or at the end of the dirt patch on the floor. I brake very hard and my peak brake pressure is around 90%. I used first gear and tried to apex on the red and white curb. As you can see I aim for a mid apex here so I can get on throttle early. The reason why this works is because the exit is very wide. I come back onto the throttle just after the apex and the track limit on the exit is the edge of the red and white curb. Overage and radion are quite easily flat in this car. I cut most of the first curb just to try and to score up less speed, and it's important not to turn in too early here as you understeer, then you can open up the steering again to cut this last curb. This chicane can be quite difficult. I brake at the start of the curb on the left and I use third gear. I troll brake all the way to the apex. On the exit here you want to be as far over to the right as possible to set up for the next turn. For the left I hold it in third gear and troll brake slightly, cutting all of the inside curb. I then slowly come back on throttle, making sure the car stays on the left side of the track. For the final right hander I lift in third gear for rotation and cut all of the inside curb. The track limit on the exit is the red and white curb, and you want to make sure that you're not on the gravel past it. Here I brake at the start of the red and white curb and use second gear. My peak brake pressure is around 80% but I trail off very quickly. I do this to induce some understeer as the car tends to over rotate on entry. I take a double apex and I'm very smooth with the throttle to avoid wheel spin on the exit. You want to make sure the car stays over to the right side of the track for the next corner. Keep the car in second gear and trial brake the whole way through the corner. On the entry you can use some of the curb to help open up the corner, and I turn in aiming to cut the inside here. On the exit I'm very careful with the throttle as it's easy to run wide and get off track. There aren't many references here. I brake just after the orange marker on the right and use the curb on the entry. I use third gear and trail brake to the first curb, and then get back on throttle at the end of this curb. It's very easy to get greedy here and try to carry too much speed, but it's better to carry less speed and have a better line as you gain the time back through the exit. This second apex should be flat if you get the line right. Here I brake at the start of the red and white curb. I use third gear and turn in quite early. The car tends to understeer here, so trail braking is very important. For the second part of the chicane, the trick is to turn in early. I stay in third gear and trail brake slightly again, then get back on throttle at the end of the AstroTurf on the inside. The track limit on the exit is the red and white curb. For this right-hander I brake just before the curb starts and use second gear. I turn in early and trail brake to the apex. I get back on throttle just before the curb and use all of the exit of course. It's important to not go on the gravel as it will give you an off track. This right-hander is just about flat. I turn in just before the end of the curb and aim for a late apex. The track limit on the exit is the red and white curb, and it can be sketchy here on cold tyres, so be careful on that one. Blanchimont is very easily flat. Just get as close to the inside curb as possible and you should be fine. For the final chicane, I brake around a car's length after the white line and use some of the entry curb to open up the corner. I use first gear and aim for a late apex on the first part of the chicane. For the second part of the chicane, all I do is lift. I begin to pick up the throttle just after the curb and do so carefully to avoid wheel spin. It's very important to not touch the sausage curbs through this chicane, as it can unsettle the car and lose you time. So that was a lap of Spa. If you found this guide helpful, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. I'll now leave you with the third person lap to the end of the video.